I do see the EJ 2020 Action Agenda as a critical transitional document because it lets you know what has happened in the past. Where are we, right? What is the sum of the things that we accomplished, and then what do we need to do? What's the unfinished agenda?
EJ 2020 is the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's strategic plan for environmental justice for the years 2016 to 2020.
EJ 2020 really sets us on a clear course for moving forward in how we make environmental decisions in this country. We have been working over 40 years since most of the major environmental laws were passed to really fully understand how to implement regulations, how to issue permits, how to think about all the different impacts of our environmental decisions. And EJ 2020 basically says, look ahead, and when you make these decisions, as you've learned in recent years, think about communities in the process. Think about the people that are going to be impacted by the environmental decision being made. Think about how your choice may impact their life, their livelihood, their health, their economic opportunity, and try to weave those considerations into your choices and decisions.
How can EJ 2020 keep its promise and be more than just another document?
This vibrant action document should also be a guide, make suggestions and recommendations to local government and the state government how to interact with environmental justice groups. We've done it before. We don't have to be at odds with each other all the time on everything.
The most important part of EJ 2020 from the perspective of the communities we work with on the ground, which commits EPA to equal access to publicly funded resources. And that includes, for example, access to parks and recreation, clean air, clean water, all the environmental protections that many of us take for granted, but that people of color and low-income people disproportionately do not enjoy.
One of the key issues is that it does bring in health impacts, and as a physician, as a public health provider, and an environmentalist, that's important to me, to make sure that we protect the environment, but also reduce the risk of health impacts.
I think it's extremely important to the business community to have EJ 2020 as a roadmap that endures over time. This gives us stability and predictability and allows us to allocate resources in a way that will be helpful in addressing the issues of environmental justice.
EJ 2020 builds on the work that EPA has done over the past 8 years, which has produced a very significant, even historic body of work that has advanced the implementation of the executive order on environmental justice to an entirely new level.
Is this just another great document? Or is this something that it really is going to be an action plan that program officers, program staff, political leadership, civil service leadership are looking at and saying, how do we measure our progress based on this document?
I truly believe that this document, EJ 2020, needs to be that action document that helps us to come to additional solutions to our problems and many of the challenges we have in community.